about you, but I often wonder about other people's work lives. What path did they take to get to that job? Do they enjoy it? What's hard about it? What parts of it are fun? Luckily, it's literally my job to ask people these kinds of questions. What's your favorite part about your job?
Every day is a little bit different. It can be at any given point at a grocery store, at a hotel meeting with the family, at the DMV, at a food bank, library.
My favorite part of the job is seeing an individual who is scared, who has never tried skating, and then have success after they've overcome that obstacle and challenge on the ice.
I love being a clown. I can scare you with my clown voice, and it's just fun. A lot of people don't like clowns.
From the Gort Boyle studio, I'm Jen Chavez, and this is The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB about the place you call home. This week, we're bringing you another episode in our At Work With series. That's where we talk to Pacific Northwesterners who have interesting jobs and ask them your questions about what it's like to do what they do. First up is a story my fellow OPB host Lillian Kerbake did back in the spooky season about the job of a haunted house actor. For these folks who dress up as monsters, it's about more than just the chills and thrills.
We call this our haunt family.
Part of that haunt family is Shell Galloway, a haunt manager at Underhill Haunted House, located in the basement of Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Portland. When we meet Galloway 3.5 hours before the doors open, it's still light outside, but she's already dressed in her vampire best.
I'm a goth vampire, so I got black shirt, black jacket.
Actually, she looks a lot like I dressed as a goth high schooler in the early 2000s. One red eye and one yellow eye top off her costume. She looks right at home as she greets the other haunt actors and waits for her turn at the airbrush station. Galloway starts preparing for October, her favorite month, in July.
So we actually started putting the haunted house, building it in end of July. We advertised that we're looking for monsters.
And then they have monster auditions. So who makes a good monster?
And it's funny, people that get scared, don't like haunted houses, make the best scares. They know what scares them. It's hard for me to go in a haunted house because I've been doing this for so long. I don't get scared that easily.
Galloway has been doing this for so long that she's even started to grow her haunt family with her own family. Her granddaughter has been helping out. In fact, many of our actors tonight have multiple generations in the haunt. Also getting ready is Linda Owens, or tonight, the Bog Witch. Owens has been haunting for decades and brought her 13-year-old granddaughter with her tonight. She said scaring people isn't hard, it's the not laughing after they jump.
Really have a good scare, and it's really a cool scare, and you want to laugh, and you can't, because you can't break character, and you got to be this creepy little creature, you know, it's like, you know.
At 6:30, makeup is done, and it's time for the group meeting. Cast manager Jeff runs the 50 or so volunteer actors through safety tips. Where fire extinguishers are, what to shout if a guest touches you inappropriately, how to call for help, and reminds the actors of the key rule for spooking. Always scare forward so that they move to the next scene. And if you can't scare them,
make them laugh. If you can't make them laugh, roast them out. Roast them out. Yeah. Right? If you can't gross them out, make it awkward. Make it awkward.
And he reminds everyone the best part of acting in a haunted house, compared to film or theater, a constant opportunity to change.
You get a new crowd every 30 seconds, so try something new. If that didn't work, scrap it.
The parting cheer tells the monsters to scare some people enough that they wet their pants, which is code yellow in haunted house parlance.
Scare some people! Yeah! Let's make some pants filled with PPE!
And at 6:50, it's lights out before doors open at 7. Suddenly, the cardboard maze transforms from a set to a truly spooky affair, a manor, a bog, and some sort of alien space station. The actors head to their stations or haunts. They are monsters waiting for the next victim.
We
gotta get out of here! We gotta get out of here! Run!
By 8:30 p.m., the haunted house is in full swing as haunt manager Galloway checks in on each actor, making sure they have water, snacks, and steps in to cover their room if they need it.
Who are you? To the ashes with you!
And tomorrow night, when the doors creak open again, they'll be waiting in the shadows, ready to scare.
After the spooky season comes the chill of winter and the fun of winter activities like ice skating. Lillian is an avid skater herself, and she was curious about what it's like to be a Zamboni driver. Tanya March has been making the ice clean and smooth at the Lloyd Center ice rink for over a decade, but she's been in ice rinks as long as she can remember.
I'm Canadian. I think we think children should learn to skate before they learn to swim.
Technically, the vehicle she drives is called an ice resurfacer. Zamboni is a brand name, like Kleenex.
And everyone thinks of every ice resurfacer as though it's a Zamboni. Mine is an Engo. Mine is an electric made in Italy.
What's an ice resurfacer? A boxy little vehicle that makes fresh ice on skating rinks by shaving off uneven layers, collecting the shavings, and spreading a thin layer of fresh water that freezes into a smooth surface. The machine replaces the laborious, if amusing, old method of resurfacing.
Between periods of hockey games, there was women who were scantily clad who would shovel all the loose ice off, and it would take an hour to resurface.
Because ice resurfacer machine is a mouthful, we're going to use Zamboni in this story. But just know March is actually driving an Ingo, which was specifically selected for the Lloyd Center ice rink after the mall was remodeled in 2017. It's a bit smaller and electric.
Because of the remodel to the mall, it was required for the safety of the occupants that we do not have a propane-driven machine, and this was the one on the market that was available.
Some ice resurfacers have computer panels and touch screens. This Ingo is much more stripped down, but March, who likes to work on old cars, likes the more manual nature. She does have one thing on her wish list.
It has a lot of levers, so it has the intellectualness that you need. But I'm missing something that's on an Olympia or a Zamboni. I don't have an icebreaker.
An icebreaker helps prevent the machine from getting jammed up.
Think of a blender when you can jam a spoon in that blender when it gets stuck when you're making your margaritas. We don't have an icebreaker here.
That might be extra helpful at a rink like the Lloyd Center, where artificial snow made of soap bubbles falls from the ceiling during public skating session. Those bubbles look magical, but can be hard on machinery and hard on the ice. So what makes great ice for skating? It's the same thing that makes great coffee: good water.
And you use hot water because it does melt out those mounds and help solidify to the existing ice. It also has less air. The hotter the water, the less air. If you go to a good bar, they make those ice cubes that have perfectly clear instead of having crystalline structures. That's what I'm aiming for. And some rinks do a lot of work to filter their water quality. We are so blessed here in Portland that we have such high quality water.
March can tell when the water quality slips.
And if we have a fire in the area, like in the gorge, it turned my ice that I pulled off the sheet brown. It actually absorbs like a sponge air quality as well.
Today, March arrived at 8 a.m., hours before the mall opens. She was here last night until midnight for a birthday party and did an ice cut before she left. But it's time to do another turn on the ice before the crowded public session begins. After the Zamboni is disconnected from the electricity, she puts in the hot water.
It's more than a bathtub, let's put it that way. Maybe 20 bathtubs of water going in right now.
Okay, wow. It takes almost as long to fill it up as it does to do a full ice resurface.
We measure the ice. We have a laser device, and we measure the thickness of the ice. And we are told where we need to shave more and where we need to lay down more water.
Winter is the busiest time of the year at the Lloyd Center ice rink. The ice will see as many as 1,000 skaters over the course of the day, especially during school breaks. It can get chaotic and can make driving the Zamboni a little nerve-wracking.
Have you ever had your dad watch you parallel park? That's what it feels like during Christmas when you have 400 people staring at you and you're like, any little mistake, you overthink it.
Some people come just to watch March do her job.
There are 3 things in life people like to stare at: a flowing stream, a crackling fire, and a Zamboni cleaning.
But you only get a watch. Question from Shanna Skates: can I drive it?
Unfortunately, no. It does require a certification process.
But March, who started working at the Lloyd Center while getting her PhD to get free ice time for her son who skated, said she's happy to see that there are more women drivers getting certified to operate the ice resurfacer.
And I've always really appreciated Don Baldwin, the former general manager, allowed a lot of women to drive the Zamboni, and that's not true across the country. It is male-dominated. Just like women's hockey has been really strong in Portland, I think we are trying to change those narratives.
Another listener asked how she makes sure that stuff like rocks and small pieces of garbage don't end up on the ice. Mostly, she picks up small things before resurfacing.
If people throw things when I'm on the ice, it's a challenge. I remember one time asking them all if they could ask all the food court to use black silverware instead of white silverware. I've never been laughed at more in my life. I'll never ask again. But it's because it was harder to see.
The Lloyd Center ice rink has seen some pretty famous skaters, most recently Brian Boitano.
For when we reopened after the remodel, he came here for the grand opening.
And if you know Oregon figure skating history, you'll probably want to ask about Tanya Harding. March does know her.
She used to teach here, and these are where she got her first lessons as a skater, but she also was an employee here.
But for Tanya March, the Olympians aren't the draw of the Lloyd Center. It's watching beginners go from fearful to confident.
My favorite part of the job is seeing an individual who is scared, who has never tried skating, and then have success after they've overcome that obstacle and challenge on the ice.
All possible with her work to make a beautiful sheet of ice.
Coming up after a break, we ride along with an outreach worker who helps homeless families get into housing. Thanks for listening to The Evergreen, our podcast from OPB about the place you call home. If you like what you hear, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, and we'll brighten your Monday morning a little bit with something new and exciting to listen to every week. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jen Chavez OPB. That's Jen with 2 N's, and I'll keep you posted on what Team Evergreen is up to. And remember, our At Work With series and all the great OPB reporting and storytelling you hear on this show is made possible by the support of many thousands of OPB members. Support our journalism by becoming an OPB sustaining member today at opb.org/pod. And one last thing before we get back to At Work With, we're going to be doing a live taping of The Evergreen soon. That's coming up on Thursday, March 6th at the Tomorrow Theater in Southeast Portland. Come hang with us in the audience and see how our podcast gets made. You can find more details at opb.org/theevergreen. And now, back to the show. In some ways, people experiencing homelessness are very visible in Portland. But according to Giovanna Benancio, families with children are often hidden.
The children are invisible. Families work pretty hard to keep them protected, or having fear of asking for help, having fear of them being reported and being separated from their children. And no one knows the true number of the families and children that are in Multnomah County that are experiencing homelessness.
Benancio works for a nonprofit organization called Path Home. It's her job to connect with families and help them access the resources they need to get into stable housing. Her title is Family Housing Navigator, and most of the work she does is not in an office. I recently rode along with Benancio to learn more about how she does her job.
Every day is a little bit different, and I encounter different people. I can be at any given point at a grocery store, at a hotel meeting with a family, at the DMV, at a food bank, library.
Just before the new year started, she helped a father and his 12-year-old daughter get off the streets and into a motel room, using funds from Multnomah County's Joint Office of Homeless Services. During the winter months, motel rooms are a stopgap when other housing is not immediately available. On the day of our ride-along, her first stop was to meet him at a grocery store to help pay for his groceries.
Family Housing Navigators have client assistance funds, so I'm able to use those funds to help families with groceries. IDs, birth certificates, and socials.
After paying for the groceries, Venancio gave Jimmy a ride back to the motel where he's staying. We are only using his first name to protect his privacy.
We used to have a little mini fridge and a microwave in our room, so there's really not much I could cook there, but so I was just getting little things that more so snacks, you know.
Jimmy shared that he and his daughter had to leave a housing situation that became unsafe.
It's been a struggle this last few months, you know, being homeless. It's been hard to see her face when I pick her up from school and she's wondering where we're going for the night.
I asked him how his daughter's doing now that they've been able to move into a motel.
She's like, so this is how we're going to be living, Dad, in a motel? You know, so she's a little snobbish about it, even though, we came from my car or sleeping on a friend's couch or this or that, and to her room. She don't have the appreciation that I have for sure, because she's used to, I've always had a home for her. We've always lived a pretty good life.
He said he's hoping to get into a permanent housing situation that feels more like home.
You know, a place that we could it's ours, you know, where there's no verbal and mental abuse. I don't like it around my daughter. Yeah. I don't like fighting around my daughter.
After Jimmy loaded his groceries onto a luggage cart and went inside, Venancio was on the phone with another parent who needed her help. She was able to deliver the good news that there was a motel room available for her and her kids and their pet cat.
Hey, Brittany, just checking in. Did you receive the address?
Yes, I did.
Perfect. And then what time would you be arriving?
I'm just 10 minutes away. So
10?
whenever.
We met Brittany in the motel parking lot just off of a busy street in southeast Portland. She and her kids got out of a pickup truck. The truck bed was packed full of boxes and bags. When they got to the front desk, it was clear that Venancio was familiar with the motel owner, Samir Patel.
Hello,
Hi.
how are you? How have you been?
Good.
Patel and Venancio worked together to get Brittany checked in while the kids waited patiently. Patel went over the rules.
Okay, no smoking. If you want to smoke, only in the parking lot, 15 feet away from the building.
Okay.
Not outside the room, not in the hallway.
Okay.
Okay? I put the 2 keys.
Okay.
Every 15
As we headed outside and up the steps, I wondered how the kids would react when they saw the 200-square-foot motel room they'd be sharing with their mom.
Whoa. How nice. Oh, look, there's a desk. And a mini fridge. Bathroom. Wanna check the bathroom? Yeah. Ooh. Microwave. Wait, there's yes. Look at the lights. You excited? It's beautiful. Yeah.
The relief was palpable. Brittany said that before this, they'd been living in their truck on Foster Road. All three of them said they were looking forward to taking hot showers and sleeping in the 2 beds that dominated the main space. Brittany was actually scheduled to have surgery the next day.
And I almost couldn't have it because I didn't have anywhere for them or to recover. So the timing, it's just crazy. Yeah.
I asked Brittany what she was looking for in a more permanent housing situation.
Independence, just long-term housing, but just to teach my kids a whole new life of no vices or abuse or just a clean start and fresh start for us. So yeah, stability, consistency, all of it, all of that normal big adult stuff. But just security, really. Just to be able to lock a door and
be safe,
rest. Yeah.
Venancio explained that the program that allows families like this one to use motel rooms runs through March 31st. The next step is to get them into a family shelter or connect them with other housing options.
But we definitely leave it to the participants whether they want shelter services or not. There's families that have experienced shelter, and unfortunately it wasn't the most pleasant. So there is some trauma with that as well.
Venancio works with dozens of families experiencing homelessness.
Typically, we get assigned 60 families, but out of the 60 families, maybe half will respond back to our text, emails, or phone calls.
A few of our listeners asked about how Venancio takes care of herself to avoid compassion fatigue and stay present for the people she's trying to help. She says her faith is a big part of what keeps her going, and her own lived experience is a big reason why she finds this work so rewarding.
My parents, coming to Oregon, we didn't know anyone, but we found relatives throughout the years. But the first time we arrived here in Milwaukee, Oregon, it was through the help of a stranger that let my parents rent a tent or a shed in the backyard. It was a shed. And so I feel like my mom telling me those stories and just hearing everything that they went through and the help that we were given through all sorts of organizations and just the community. And I feel like that's what drives me. And I'm, always asking God to use me as a vessel to be of service to others.
According to Venancio, compassion and good listening skills are key in the job of a housing navigator. And while it can be a hard job, on a day like today, she feels successful. You can see photos and read all the stories in our At Work With series at opb.org. Thanks so much for listening to The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB. Julie Sabatier produced this episode, and our technical director is Stephen Cray. The OPB podcast team also includes Mia Estrada and Sage Van Wing. Lillian Kerbake, Mia Estrada, Julie Sabatier, and I did the interviews you heard. The music in this episode is from Audio Network. If you have a question for us, please reach out. Email us at theevergreen@opb.org. I'm Jen Chavez. Catch you later.